The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success is a classic book by Deepak Chopra. In the book, Deepak Chopra has a way of taking deep spiritual concepts and really simplifying them, offering just the right metaphors, just the right examples to help you grasp the ideas that he's talking about. And because of how easy it is to understand relative to most spiritual texts and apply the principles outlined by Chopra, practically anyone can really learn from the big ideas in this book. The main idea behind the book is to develop a symbiotic relationship between spiritual success and financial success. The idea that the two don't jive well with one another is often the case of either moral or financial distress for a lot of people. Hopefully, this audio summary can help shed some light on how important it is to marry these two types of success, spiritual as well as financial. Here's a quick tweetable summary to describe the book in a nutshell. There's an easier way to get what you want out of life. All you've got to do is get in sync with nature and the universe. And a quick, crucial quote before we dive into the big ideas. Quote, "When we understand these laws and apply them in our lives, anything we want can be created. Because the same laws that nature uses to create a forest, or a galaxy, or a star, or a human body can also bring about the fulfillment of our deepest desires." Unquote. All right, you ready to dive into the big ideas? Let's get into it. Big idea number 1, the law of pure potentiality. The first spiritual law of success, as Chopra writes, is the law of pure potentiality. This law is based on the fact that we are, in our essential state, pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is pure potentiality. It's the field of all possibilities and infinite creativity. Pure consciousness is our spiritual essence, being infinite and unbounded. It's also pure joy. Other attributes of consciousness are pure knowledge, infinite silence, pure and perfect balance, invincibility, simplicity, and bliss. This is our essential nature. Our essential nature is one of pure potentiality. And when you discover your essential nature and know who you really are, in that knowing itself is the ability to fulfill any dream you have, because you are the eternal possibility, the immeasurable potential of all that was, is, and will be. The law of pure potentiality could also be called the law of unity, because underlying the infinite diversity of life is the unity of one all-pervasive spirit. There's no separation between you and this field of energy. The field of pure potentiality is your own self. And the more you experience your true nature, the closer you are to the field of pure potentiality. Now, your DNA is a great example of this first law of spiritual success, the law of pure potentiality. Chopra actually tells us that DNA itself is the material expression of pure potentiality, writing that the same DNA existing in every cell expresses itself in different ways in order to fulfill the unique requirements of that particular cell. In other words, everything flows from the law of pure potentiality, creativity, intelligence, power, affluence, stillness, oneness, equality, everything. And when you tap into the law of pure potentiality, you are tapping into the highest version of yourself. This is when you drop your ego, which is based in fear, and exchange it for your higher self, which is based in love. pure potentiality is the place from which the unmanifest is made manifest. It's pure consciousness. And it doesn't worry about what others think because it's immune to criticism. Because it comes from a place of strength. It comes from a place of confidence, tempered with humble equality. Pure potentiality is independent of people or feelings, circumstances, or situations. So, the question is, how do you access this law and make it part of your life? A few recommendations. Number 1, silence and meditation. Practice sitting in a quiet, peaceful place and meditating for at least a few minutes daily. Number 2, spend more time in nature. Go for walks, meditate outside, appreciate the beautiful abundance of nature. Number 3, drop your ego. You are not the center of the universe. When we recognize this, we make way for new and powerful insights that will come to us on a regular basis. And finally, number 4, practice non-judgment. Judging people, things, and experiences is normal. But when we see things as they are, as if there were no past or no future, we just see things as they are with a lens of purity. That's when we are practicing non-judgment. Practice these habits, and you'll be closer to knowing and living the law of pure potentiality, which will allow you to cultivate and create the abundance you seek in life. Big idea number 2, the law of giving. Quote, "The best way to put the law of giving into operation, to start the whole process of circulation, is to make a decision that at any time you come into contact with anyone, you will give them something. Doesn't have to be in the form of material things. It could be a flower, a compliment, a prayer. In fact, the most powerful forms of giving are non-material. The gifts of caring, attention, affection, appreciation, and love are some of the most precious gifts you can give, and they don't cost you anything." Unquote. You ever notice that the more you give, the more you receive? What's the magic in this? Why does it work? Chopra tells us that this happens because the mind and body is constantly in a flow of both giving and receiving with the universe. And giving keeps the flow going. Creating, loving, growing, and developing also keeps the flow going. But not giving? That stops the flow, and it clots like blood. The secret to living is giving. The more we give, the more we're involved in circulating the energy of the universe. And when it circulates back around, it comes back in spades in the form of money, love, serendipitous experiences, enjoyment, and more. The old adage that money makes the world go round is true, but only if it's given as much as it is received. When you do give with joy. Give with your heart. Give what you want to receive. If you want prayers, pray for others. If you want positive energy, silently send those good vibes out to others and wish them well. If you want money, provide something of value like a service or a product, or find someone with less than you and give money to them. There are no limits to what you can give because your true nature is that of abundance and affluence. The universe, nature, your creator, whichever way you want to see it, provides everything we want and need. And the field of pure potentiality provides us with the intelligence and creativity to produce more and more. Big idea number 3, the law of karma, cause and effect. Quote, "Each cell must discover its own source, the higher self. It must serve its fellow beings and express its unique talents. Heart cells, stomach cells, and immune cells all have their source in the higher self, the field of pure potentiality. And because they are directly linked to this cosmic computer, they can express their unique talents with effortless ease and timeless awareness. Only by expressing their unique talents can they maintain both their own integrity and the integrity of the whole body. The internal dialogue of every cell in the human body is, how can I help? The heart cells want to help the immune cells. The immune cells want to help the stomach and lung cells. And the brain cells are listening to and helping every other cell. Every cell in the human body has only one function: to help every other cell. By looking at the behavior of the cells of your own body, we can observe the most extraordinary and efficient expression of the 7 spiritual laws. This is the genius of nature's intelligence. These are the thoughts of God. The rest are details." Unquote. Well, it's hard to put it more clearly than that. And the bottom line here is this: keep in mind that every single intention and action that you think about and act upon is a cause that is immediately set in motion from the very moment you think it or take action on it. This makes us responsible for practically everything in our lives. Big idea number 4, the law of least effort. Quote, "The 4th spiritual law of success is the law of least effort. This law is based on the fact that nature's intelligence functions with effortless ease and abandoned carefreeness. This is the principle of least action, of no resistance. This is, therefore, the principle of harmony and love. When we learn this lesson from nature, we easily fulfill our desires." Unquote. Do less, accomplish more. That is what this spiritual law of success is all about. Elegant effortlessness. Just like it's a fish's nature to swim or the sun's nature to shine, it's human nature to want to achieve our full potential, and to do so with a sense of effortless intention. So, is all of this to say that planning and working hard and striving to accomplish our goals is just a gargantuan waste of time? Well, not exactly. Chopra tells us that when our actions are driven by love rather than by ego, we actually generate great reserves of energy that we can pour into our work, our goals, or indeed towards any endeavor. On the flip side, however, trying to exert power over others or seeking validation from people drains us of our life force and depletes us of our energy. When we engage in these types of behaviors, it shows that we're trying to prove something to someone. But when we make love the motivating force behind our actions, we engage our higher selves. And this allows us to make effortless choices about our actions and how they relate to the world at large, as well as how best to bring about the abundance we desire and deserve into our lives. Practicing the law of least effort involves 2 steps. Number 1, acceptance. Practice acceptance. If you're fighting against the effortless power of the universe, you can't expect to bring it into your life. Flow with the universe by practicing acceptance. Accept things as they are. Whether you're enjoying a positive experience or enduring a difficult one, repeat the following mantra or affirmation to yourself. This moment is as it should be. This moment is as it should be. Whether you're in a good situation or in a bad situation, this moment is as it should be. Now, the second part of practicing the law of least effort is defenselessness. If you're constantly on the defense, it's hard to be open to new and perhaps even more suitable options, alternatives, or possibilities for yourself. Blaming others and always defending your point of view doesn't help either. Practicing defenselessness does. So, 2 parts to practicing the law of least effort. Number 1, acceptance. Number 2, defenselessness. Big idea? Number 5, the law of intention and desire. Quote, I will put the law of intention and desire into effect by making a commitment to take the following steps. Number 1, I will make a list of all my desires. I will carry this list with me wherever I go. I will look at this list before I go into my silence and meditation. I will look at it before I go to sleep at night. I will look at it when I wake up in the morning. Number 2, I will release this list of my desires and surrender it to the womb of creation, trusting that when things don't seem to go my way, there is a reason, and that the cosmic plan has designs for me much grander than even those that I have conceived. Number 3, I will remind myself to practice present moment awareness in all my actions. I will refuse to allow obstacles to consume and dissipate the quality of my attention in the present moment. I will accept the present as it is and manifest the future through my deepest, most cherished intentions and desires. Unquote. A tree doesn't get to decide on what its purpose will be. The purpose of a tree is singular, to dig its roots deep into the soil and grow as much as possible. And each tree, in fulfilling its one major purpose, provides an abundance of benefits for every inhabitant of our planet, including you. While trees can't shape their destiny, though, you can. Your nervous system comes equipped with a level of intelligence that actually allows you to shape your thoughts and how you interact with the world. You can shape the laws of nature in such a way that allows you to bring into reality practically anything you imagine and desire. How? Through the process of attention and intention. Attention, when properly directed, energizes and expands. Intention, when properly directed, automatically works on your behalf, initiating energy and information and organizing its own fulfillment. But how could you, simply by intending to do, be, have something, make it actually happen? Well, of course, that's not all there is to it, but Chopra offers a great way to think about it. Imagine for a moment a still pond of water. If your mind is still like that pond, you can throw a small stone of intention into it, which creates ripples that concentrically widen and expand through time and space. On the flip side, if your mind is like a stormy sea with waves crashing in every which direction, you could throw tons and tons of stones into it, and it wouldn't make a difference. You see, once you introduce an intention into a receptive, accepting, and still mind, you can then let the universe handle the details, leveraging its infinite power to organize and orchestrate the conditions you need to help you make that intention happen. Big idea number 6, the law of detachment. Quote, "The law of detachment says that in order to acquire anything in the physical universe, you have to relinquish your attachment to it. This does not mean you give up the intention to create your desire. You don't give up the intention, and you don't give up the desire. You give up your attachment to the result. This is a very powerful thing to do. The moment you relinquish your attachment to the result, combining one-pointed attention with detachment at the same time, you will have that which you desire. Anything you want can be acquired through detachment, because the detachment is based on the unquestioning belief in the power of your true self." Unquote. So basically, if you're overly attached to a goal or an outcome, even if you have an intention, you'll need to loosen your grip a bit and detach yourself from the outcome before it can actually manifest. It's just fine, Chopra tells us, to have a one-pointed focus on something. But if you're totally attached to a specific outcome, it leads to fear, anxiety, insecurity, and all the other negative emotions that come with being out of alignment with your highest self. Why does being overly attached to outcomes lead to these feelings, though? Think of it this way. Imagine you want something really, really bad. Eventually, you get so attached to getting it that merely thinking about the possibility that it may not come to fruition produces fear and anxiety and insecurity. But when you're in alignment with your highest self and detached from the outcome, you can still maintain the same intentions, desires, goals, etc. The only difference is that your sense of self is not glued to the outcome that you seek. In other words, who you are is not defined by external outcomes. Chopra calls this detached involvement, telling us that only from detached involvement can we have joy and laughter. Then, the symbols of wealth are created spontaneously and effortlessly. Without detachment, he says, we are prisoners of hopelessness, helplessness, mundane needs, trivial concerns, quiet desperation, and seriousness. The distinctive features of everyday mediocre existence and poverty consciousness. Bottom line, when we're attached to outcomes, we try to force them into reality. But when we're detached but intentional, we can manifest solutions and recruit the help of the universe to guide us and show us the solutions we seek to bring our intentions into reality. Big idea number 7, the law of Dharma, or purpose in life. Quote, "According to the law of Dharma, you have a unique talent and a unique way of expressing it. There's something that you can do better than anyone else in the entire world. And for every unique talent and unique expression of that talent, there are also unique needs. When these needs are matched with the creative expression of your talent, that is the spark that creates affluence. Expressing your talents to fulfill needs creates unlimited wealth and abundance." Unquote. Finding your purpose in life is nothing more than a series of decisions you need to make about which of your unique gifts and skills you want to give to others. There are 3 components to the law of Dharma. Number 1, we're all here to discover our true self. As the famous quote goes, we're not human beings that have occasional spiritual experiences. We are spiritual beings that have occasional human experiences. Number 2, express your talents. You have some skill or some talent within you that is so unique, so special, that you can become the best in the world at doing it. This second component of Dharma is to figure out what that talent is and express the heck out of it. To quote Chopra, There's one thing you can do and one way of doing it that is better than anyone else on this entire planet. When you're doing that one thing, you lose track of time. When you're expressing that one unique talent that you possess, or more than one unique talent in many cases, the expression of that talent takes you into timeless awareness. And the third and final component of the law of Dharma is to serve humanity. To fulfill this third component, we've got to be asking ourselves this one simple question as often as possible. How can I help? That's it. How can you help the people you connect with? Once you can combine the expression of your talents with a way to serve the world, you will be in Dharma mode. Now, if you want to take the law of Dharma to the max, make the following 3 commitments to yourself, and it'll help you make it a part of your life for good. The first commitment is, I am going to seek my higher self, which is beyond my ego, through spiritual practice. The second commitment is, I am going to discover my unique talents, and finding my unique talents, I am going to enjoy myself, because the process of enjoyment occurs when I go into timeless awareness. That is when I am in a state of bliss. And the third commitment is, I am going to ask myself how I am best suited to serve humanity. I am going to answer that question and then put it into practice. I am going to use my unique talents to serve the needs of my fellow human beings. I will match those needs to my desire to help and serve others. Closing notes. The key takeaway from this book is this: achieving success and becoming wealthy does not have to be detached from spirituality. It can actually be enhanced by it. Understanding that you are part of the universe and working within natural and universal laws can help you achieve your goals and fulfill your purpose with peace of mind. This is much healthier and far more enjoyable than forcing your way to success. It's not about maximum achievement. It's about the art of fulfillment.